Tucson Symphony's Classics Concert No. 2, October 26th and October 28th. We're featuring music that centers on this great love story of Romeo and Juliet. Of course, we'll do Prokofiev's famous ballet, some of the most dramatic and most popular of all the depictions of this story, and in fact, among the most popular works in all of the orchestral repertoire. We're going to pair it with a different telling of that very same story. It is, of course, Leonard Bernstein's West Side Story, the symphonic dances, which actually, when they were first performed with the New York Philharmonic on the subscription series, caused quite a ruckus. It was, in fact, Bernstein's successful effort at bridging the gap between what was once called jazz and legit, something that George Gershwin tried very hard to bridge when he wrote his Rhapsody in Blue, 1929, and had it premiered in Carnegie Hall. But that gap was never bridged until Leonard Bernstein, as music director of one of the most staid and stuffy music organizations in the world, suddenly started playing some of his jazzy tunes. Bernstein uses a very simple key to understand the conflict in this piece, and Prokofiev uses some similar things. In fact, he may even use the same interval, but in a slightly different way. That interval is the augmented fourth. Now that interval can resolve any number of directions. Richard Wagner used it. He used it in Tristan and Isolde. Here, Bernstein uses it to great effect. Of course, we all know this. The great song of Maria. But in the symphonic dances, he uses it even more persistently. He opens the entire work with this little figure. That's the interval. And then, can you imagine the New York Philharmonic? Audience, listen to this. With the orchestra snapping their fingers. And a saxophone. Must have caused quite a ruckus, especially, I'm sure, in the ladies' room at intermission, as they all commented on the audacity of this young conductor bringing jazz into their hallowed ground. But nonetheless, it was enormously successful. So, of course, the other most memorable tune, besides Maria, in this entire musical, is There's a Place for Us. It comes at the most tender moment of the piece. It's also the most tender moment between Tony and Maria, as it is between Romeo and Juliet in Prokofiev's ballet and in, of course, Shakespeare's story. It's this beautiful tune, There's a Place for Us. Of Leonard Bernstein in changing this chord from what everybody expected to be this chord. He makes it this. And it resolves here. He resolves the entire piece with this augmented interval, but he hides it. We think we're having this beautiful, peaceful resolution up here, way up here in C flat major. And he sticks in this augmented fourth in the bass. So even though we think we have resolution, it's hardly a satisfactory one. There's still a certain amount of anxiety left. We'll be opening the concert with music of Richard Danielpour, a dynamic American composer who's having tremendous success all over the world. He wrote a piece called Toward the Splendid City. It is, of course, New York to which he's referring. He's tipping his hat, certainly to Leonard Bernstein, and to the great city in which West Side Story takes place. In fact, to the very spot of real estate where Juilliard and much of Lincoln Center now stands, that both of these compositions are all about. West Side Story, toward the splendid city. Richard will be with us for the entire week doing master classes, talking about his music, and he'll be appearing with me at the concerts to talk a little bit about his music. We certainly hope that you'll be joining us for these exciting performances. Thank you.